Hey, Lavender Sunday, nice to see you. Can't find anything to occupy myself, so just point the phone at my Oscar tank and talk to whoever the fuck comes in. You want some more? Yeah, it's all good as can be, I guess. How's everything with you? Yeah, he's finally slacked off a little bit on the rate of growth, but he's still getting thicker and bigger around. Uh, yeah, he's gonna be a beefy fish. He don't uh he don't miss many meals. There's a few things that I tried feeding him he doesn't like that he'll spit out, which is kind of nerve wracking. Yeah, holy shit, I can't imagine moving after 30 years. Hi, SG and Aiden. Hell, I moved in with Alley Cat 10 years ago, and the fact that I don't or won't have to move unless we decide to is the only reason why I got big fish tanks. I fucking hate moving. And I'm kind of big, so whenever somebody else moves, they're like, oh, hey man, what are you doing? Can you come help me move? You look like you could carry a refrigerator. Spirit in the Sky Blue. Hi, sweetheart. How did your dinner turn out? It was probably awesome. You can't go wrong with steak and sweet corn on the cob. Yeah, the red helps. Shrimp will help with the color, make it brighter. A lot of the food that uh, they sell for them uh, puts it right on the bag, like this Hikari Cichlid Gold I give them. It says a color enhancing diet developed for cichlids. But yeah, there's other things you could feed him, different vegetables. He likes peas. He didn't like carrots. I could try steaming the carrots next time. I think I'll try that. But he didn't like salmon. He didn't like cod. He didn't like the fucking uh, what the hell are they called now? God damn it. He likes the shrimp. He didn't like scallops. Yo, what's up, USA all day? Good to see you, bud. Thanks for stopping in. Um, Lately, he's been eating some frozen prepared food I give him. Um, the pellets and mealworms and the shrimp and the peas because he does like the peas. Yeah, yeah, he's gonna get pretty big. They're not quite what you would call a tank buster, unless you keep him in a really small tank. But he's definitely one that's going to make this 75 gallon look a lot smaller when he's 3 inches longer and a lot thicker. I almost regret not getting two. Because if I do want to ever put another one in there, if and when I get a 125, I'm going to have to grow it out at least to be big enough not to fit in his mouth. Well, thanks for looking at the man boobies, but there's nothing wrong with the fish. fuck face. Yep, that's right there. Attitude adjustment makes dealing with jackasses a lot easier. Yeah, I got no complaints. I love them. I got 3 Raphael cats in there too. There's one. Seems like only one is willing to... Oh no, there's 2. 2 are out. I worried about them eating them, but they're armored, so not much to worry about. Yeah. Not in the tank. I got them on top. And yeah, I am a jerk. Some would even say I'm an asshole. But this one's got plants in the tank and on top. Some lilies. Like, yeah. I'm not being a jerk. I'm just trying to make it so I don't have to keep fixing this fucker up. Because Oscars aren't really nice to plants, dude. Speaking of which, this thing gets moved all around all the time just because he feels like being a jerk. I don't want him ripping up plants out of the dirt. The glove certainly fits. Yeah, the lilies are nice. They can be a little bit overwhelming if you don't trim them once in a while. That it actually died back to the bulb for the better part of the past year. I had one die off completely because it basically shaded itself and most of the other plants out. I trimmed up all the pads and cut them off. Yeah, I see him once in a while getting like a mood. He'll swim back and forth and he'll look like he's trying to mean mug somebody, but I think he's just looking at plant roots that are in his way at the moment. But yeah, he'll grab the roots of this and jerk that thing out. I try to keep it wedged up underneath the brace, but yeah, if he don't want it there, he moves it. But if he doesn't notice that you're moving something and it touches him, he'll pale out and he'll dull his color down and hide for about 25 minutes, like someone, really scared the shit out of him. Pretty weird little fish. Well, not really little, but weird fish. I haven't given him anything live other than insects. I'm thinking about getting a little group of guppies and breeding some guppies to give them something live, but I haven't had any luck with the feeder fish at my local pet stores, man. I had a white crayfish, and I bought about a dozen rosy red minnows to just give him something to eat if he wanted it, and have something moving in the tank, because the crayfish doesn't move around a whole lot with the lights on. A month later, I lost half of the fish, and the other half he didn't touch. So I just let him live in my tank for about 2 years until they all died of old age. Yeah, mollies, any kind of little live bear fish would be good. I could breed feeders in just a spare tank. I mean, I do have an empty 55 gallon outside. I got an empty 75 tall outside, and I got this 20 gallon over here with just plants in it currently, and some snails, some assassin snails. But Yeah, I don't have any small feeders, but yeah, mollies or endlers or uh, guppies would be great. All live bearing fish. You can breed like rabbits. I do give him lots of frozen stuff. Like I said, fish. He used to love the tilapia, but he doesn't seem to like that now. I think he has texture issues with the whitefish. But he didn't like salmon either. Didn't like the scallops. I'm gonna try clams soon. Find some raw, maybe some raw chopped clams. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Um, I do have this thing. It's a betta log. It floats so like a betta can stay close to the surface to gulp air. I never had a betta, but I have a couple of dwarf frogs down here, and I thought maybe they would use it, and I was wrong. And it's been bobbing around in every tank I've had at some point. I put it up here because I thought maybe the Oscar would want to push it around, and when he got an asshole kind of a mentality, he could beat up on the log if he wanted. I mean, it floats, it'll move, but nope. Uh, I used it to grow some Java moss, but apparently he's pulled some of that off. Well, damn near all of it off of it. Um, but I did catch one of the Raphael cats hanging out in there. I think some food got in there when the Oscar was eating, and the little catfish are basically my janitorial crew. Yeah, the protein, they'll grow really big with lots of protein and space. Yeah, Alley Cat said I could get a 125. I told her I think 250 is about as much as I'll trust on our living room floor, but I could also support the floor underneath. I am a carpenter. I know how to do that. Um, but yeah, she's cool with it. So that's a big stress right off the top. Yeah, the mollies breed like nuts. I remember when I was a kid, our dentist had a big, I think it was probably a 55 gallon, but it was planted and he had all mollies or guppies in it, and it looked awesome with a big ass tank with a bunch of little fish swimming through all the plants. But yeah, every time we went in there, there would be a weird, like there would be a number discrepancy. Like sometimes there would be a whole lot, and then other times there would be less, and then the next time I go, a couple months later, there's a whole bunch more again. So I think he was just cycling out the overpopulation. Which getting rid of fish is the only reason I really haven't seriously tried breeding the angelfish or the corridors. Um, I've attempted a couple times, but not like set up a whole hatchery tank or anything. But I have nowhere to get rid of the babies. I can't keep them all. So yeah, it's probably yeah I could. Man, they fucking lay eggs all the time, and they're definitely a pair. They're definitely a pair. I've seen her laying, and I've seen him fertilizing them. But I'm not quite sure what I'd get. I got one large ass black one that is the male, and a koi that's about half his size is the female. Yeah, I actually had a ball that I found in the yard from one of the neighbor kids. It was like a wiffle ball. It had a whole bunch of round holes in it. I was gonna throw him in there or that in there for him, but I left it on the truck, and I drove to town and halfway home before it flew off the truck, and I forgot it was on the truck until I saw it fly off the the truck. It was up against the windshield, but they're cheap. I think I'm gonna try one of those. But yeah, he's definitely gotten at least triple the size since I put him in here. I mean, he was 5 inches, maybe 6 inches when I put him in there. But yeah, now he's up around 7, and then some probably. He doesn't hold still long enough much anymore for me to get the tape measure when he's by the front of the tank. Yeah. It's hard to show off the fish in here other than the bottom dwellers down there. The gourami doesn't like to come to the front very often unless he's getting fed, which I might be able to make something work. A little bit of river shrimp in there. Let's see if he comes out. Yeah, you could still get those neon colored fish. They kind of glow under the right light, the right ultraviolet light. I think they do it with DNA now. They used to just inject dye. But yeah, you can get all kinds of different species of those glowfish too. Corridoras, different types of tetras, gouramis. But yeah, this guy's probably the biggest. No, not probably. He's going to be the biggest fish I have. Most other fish you need massive tanks or ponds for. So yeah, I think he's it as far as larger fish. I always look at the saltwater fish when I go to the pet stores. I don't know if I'll ever try a saltwater tank, but I do like looking at the pretty fish. They have some interesting critters. Other than fish you can get for saltwater too, which is really cool. Starfish, corals, anemones, different shrimp. Hi, Blue! I went live because I got bored. But yeah, there's very minimal work in the tanks I have, and it's like tenfold in a saltwater at least. So yeah, I think I'll just stick with freshwater. Hey Jasper. Yeah, I had two of the catfish out a minute ago, Blue. I did give Pigpen some mealworms. Oh yeah, that'll definitely draw customers. I mean, they're very striking fish, especially big ones. I was probably 13 or 14 the first time I ever saw an Oscar, and my buddy had an 80-gallon tank, and his was about 10 inches. And he'd come up and let him pet him. He don't let me pet him, but his would come up and let him pet him and fuck with him. He'd eat out of his hand. He jumps. Pigpen does jump and eat out of my hand. Uh, but yeah, his was just a cool fish, and I was like, damn, that's a pretty big tank, man. He's like, yeah, that's just for one fish. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'll get one of those, not for a while anyway. And I got them this year. So yeah, but they are very impressive fish, and they're personable. Like he's one of the only ones that come up to the front, even if I'm not feeding them. The other ones, if I have the food container, then they come swimming up to the front to try to get the first mouthful. But other than that, they just swim away. Well, Blue, 30 years ago, this was probably a $5 fish. I spent, I think it was 14 bucks on them. But if you're going to get rid of them, a pet store is generally a decent place, especially if it's a decent mom and pop pet store. Yeah, that's why I went, like, this is the bare minimum for an adult. So I figure if I start with that, it'll give me a couple of years to get, 125 or 150 or whatever I feel comfortable with my old ass house's floor supporting. But yeah, you want to, you try to make them as happy as you can, like your dog. If you have a small apartment, it's probably best you don't buy a Great Dane, you know. Um, or if you don't like to go out and walk, you don't buy one that needs to be walked a whole bunch. That's true too, Lavender. 150 bucks 30 years ago went a lot further than it does now. But yeah, catfish are hiding again. Hell yeah. Some fish breeders do that, Blue. They'll uh, they'll offer up, you know, fresh babies, and then you can buy different sizes if you want. If if you already have a humongous fish tank, you can buy a full grown adult. And if you want to spend the money on it, you could spend maybe $100 on a baby fish, depending on the species of fish. Could be less, could be more, or thousands potentially on an adult, depending on the fish. But yeah, people do that. They grow them up for income. Mainly the people that breed them. I forgot to mention to Don Blue how rare it is to get Alley Cat, even as a second hand person on a panel. But I was surprised. She's like, I don't care, just don't put the camera on me. Do. Yeah, tanks for big fish have to be big. Yeah, and I mean this isn't a huge house, but it's got enough space to where I'm not taking up too much room with the fish. Plus the floors are old, so I don't want to put too much weight in one spot. It's all good, Rocky. How you doing, bro? Thanks for stopping by, man. What are you doing over there, fish? I sometimes wonder if he likes the feeling of the water moving through the filters or coming back out, because he'll hang out under the where the water comes back into the tank. Yeah, Pac went live late last night. I ended up fucking cooking some dinner and missed most of it, but yeah, I think I got used to it. It doesn't really bother me, but yeah, the false eye on the tail, yeah, it's the confused bigger fish that could eat them. A lot of fish actually have it. If you look, like sunfish, I know a lot of cichlids do. Peacock bass have it. Yep. Yeah, it's just it's like a distraction. It's like a tiger's ears. The back of a tiger's black ears are white to kind of simulate eyes, so something can't sneak up behind them, or feels uncomfortable sneaking up behind them. Yeah, sometimes I've seen different ones. They got, I don't know, at least probably 8 different types now. Not just the tiger Oscar, but you can get a wild one with just gray and black, like copper ones, which are mostly orange, red ones, albino. Then any one of the color morph ones, like the copper or whatever, you can get those in albino, so they're all a solid color mainly. Lemon. A lemon Oscar, which those are badass. The body is yellow, and then the edge of the fins get like a black line on them. They look really fucking cool. But yeah, they got a bunch of different looking ones. They're all basically the same fish with just a different paint job, but yeah, they got a lot more than I was aware of even. I mean, I knew they had albinos. I knew they had the orange ones, black and orange ones, but I didn't know they had so many different variations. They have long fin ones. They look like a fucking giant betta fish. They just look weird with the long fins. I've also seen an all black one. Didn't have any of the didn't have the tail spot on them. Yeah, the more you find out about evolution and shit, the more questions you have, which is cool too, because you can, just keep digging a hole. But I think just whatever pattern, because even like no two Oscars look identically the same. No two ball pythons. I could put my three snakes. They're all this a normal, wild looking snake, and uh, everyone's pattern is different. You can tell them apart by looking at them once you know what the pattern is. And just the successful ones got to live and breed, and the ones that the predators saw died, so those genes didn't continue. I think that's how a lot of it works. And then mimicry, uh, poisonous or venomous animals develop bright colors as a warning, and then other animals decided to try to develop that color to trick other animals into thinking they're venomous or poisonous too. But yeah, the more the more you find out, the more questions you have. They get more specific too. I remember learning how to snorkel as a kid. I kept fucking hyperventilating with my face under the water because it was so unnatural to be breathing with my head submerged. But after about, I don't know, 5 or 6 tries, I got it. And yeah, snorkeling is awesome. We used to chase, snorkel in the lakes and see. No, I don't have a Jack Dempsey. I got an Oscar. I kind of want a Jack Dempsey though, but they're even more of a dick than the Oscar. I had a buddy with about $200 worth of fucking expensive, rare fucking freshwater fish, and he bought a baby Jack Dempsey because he was pretty, and he had him for about 4 months, and then one day he woke up and all of his expensive fish were gone, and that Jack Dempsey was just sitting there all fat, and I think he had one of the tails of the last fish hanging out of his mouth. But yeah, he learned his lesson on getting Jack Dempseys. Like you should probably just have him or another dick fish, another Jack Dempsey or another big cichlid like a red terror, and something that could hold its own. Relatively same size, same temperament, aggression level. They'll straighten each other out. Yeah, I like him. I tried to pick the one with the most pattern, but he kind of loses it a little bit as he grows, and then it came back, so I was happy about that. But they change a little bit as they get big. His name is Pigpen. When he eats, he surrounds himself in a cloud of dust from whatever the food is. The shrimp is the cleanest thing I feed him. It's the only thing that doesn't become particulate. You can't possibly still want something to eat. You had about 12 mealworms. You want a couple pellets? Yeah. He sees me getting the bag. He turns right toward the. Yep. Yep. I guess he's trying to extort me. It's like if you're gonna have me on camera, you're gonna have to feed me, asshole. But you can see the little particles. They end up being pushed out the gills. Uh, and yeah, when I give them certain things, it makes more of a cloud. But yeah, the catfish definitely eat. I try to throw something that'll sink in there and see if I can coax them out. Take some of these flakes that'll get pushed down by the flow of the filter. Reach up, drop it in. Alright, now there's some flakes being pushed down to the bottom. Alright, yep. And one of the cats are coming out already. I think that's just because he smelled it first. Fucking glare. I hate you, glare. And that, there he goes. Back to the back. The other ones aren't coming out. That's weird. Usually when they smell food, they come out. But yeah, the one is anyway. Then he just went back under the rock. Yeah, they're cool little fish. I like them. They're getting pudgy and big too. They're getting up around 4 inches now. They grow a bit slower than him. He started to worry me. It's supposed to be like an inch a month, but in the first 2 weeks he grew an inch. Hey, Latoya. How you doing, sweetie? Yeah, they do a good job eating up all of Pigpen's leftovers. One of the cubes, the frozen stuff I give him, it's kind of gelatinous when it gets soft, and he only ate one, and I gave the other one to the catfish. And yeah, they came out and tore it up. So sometimes some of his stuff ends up at the bottom without him even touching it, and they get that. But they're not picky. He's much more picky than they are. Lately, anyway. He didn't used to be. He used to eat whatever the hell I threw into to him. But yeah, I don't know. He developed a more defined palate, I guess. Man, that catfish wants to make sure he's getting everything. Be back right now. Yeah, throwing some food into the 40 didn't work either. What are you having surgery on, Latoya? turn it around since the fish ain't doing nothing. Damn, I'm getting a lot of white, gray, whatever the hell color that is. It's starting to look like Gandalf a little more every day. Go look at the angelfish tank. There's the angelfish. These guys are easier to see. But the gourami goes away fast too. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there he is. There's the black angelfish. And there's the koi. Couple of Danios, neon tetras, black neon still, assassin snails. I don't know if the chat froze or what. I'm not seeing anything changing. I don't know, maybe I fucking hit something. I'll go back upstairs. Alright, don't know. Anyone still, I think the chat froze. Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck? I might have to pull a POC and start this over. I don't know. I think I'm going to start this over. I think my chat froze on this end. Yeah, I think it did. Unless y'all are they're just watching. But starting a new one. Bye, fuckers.